What's up, guys? Spenny. Let's do a quick wellness check on Stephen Colbert after being humiliatingly fired and having his show canceled in front of the entire world.
It makes sense we'd be canceled. I get it, guys. And thanks again, okay? Thanks again to the network. In a completely unrelated story, on Friday, Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." How dare you? How dare you, sir? Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go yourself.
I clapped like a seal. I clapped like a lobotomized seal. He said the F word. It's so funny. Stephen Colbert is attacking Donald Trump from his position at CBS and CBS News. A position, of course, that is fraught with a lot of problems. And it's the reason why President Trump has just won a monster lawsuit against CBS and 60 Minutes. And if you'll allow me to nerd out for just one moment, I'll explain why this is so important. You see, the networks, like the one that's platforming Stephen Colbert here, are not allowed to be biased. What I mean is, in their charters, it's illegal. The FCC gives special broadcasting licenses to NBC, CBS, and ABC. They also give it to PBS, Public Broadcasting. And this allows them to use the government's own broadcast infrastructure around the country for free and broadcast into all of our homes. Any TV that you turn on will have these networks for free. You have to pay for Fox. You have to pay for CNN, shockingly. You have to pay for Comedy Central and Discovery. But you don't have to pay for these networks. Now, what do they get in exchange for those goodies? Well, you have to promise to only create content that is non-biased and in the public interest. In fact, when you or your anchors, like in this instance, just a month ago, when an ABC News anchor, his name's Terry Moron, and he decided to go on some anti-Trump driveling diatribe. He's clearly blackout drunk. But he got fired. And the reason why he got fired was not because of diatribe. There's far worse things that have been posted about Donald Trump on the internet. The reason he got fired is because you can pull the broadcast licenses and make the case from the FCC that these companies should have their privileges revoked. ABC News is the beneficiary of lavish broadcast licenses and privileges funded by the American taxpayer. We all support this. We all pay for this. I don't get any special broadcast privileges. That's not how it works for any other media. And it puts places like CBS in peril when they have hosts like Colbert and when they have news programs like 60 Minutes. And this gets to the point of today's video, which is the massive lawsuit that was just settled by CBS over the 60 Minutes editing of Kamala Harris. This is really big. This is the FCC chairman. His name is Brendan Carr. FCC is, of course, in charge of broadcast in America and is the organization that allows for, well, everything from the internet to the airwaves to function. This is really powerful and really important organ. And the FCC chair has not once, twice, or three times, but many times gone after 60 Minutes saying, listen, you are in clear violation of the news distortion element of your agreement with the federal government. You are clearly distorting the news here, and you need to give us the full interview with Kamala Harris because you clearly edited her answer. And that's now been proven.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
It's two different answers. It's two different answers. And so, thank you for allowing me to nerd out here. What you can see there is that clearly CBS News, via the program 60 Minutes, had edited the answer to give Kamala Harris a better shot at becoming president. Now, that would be in total and complete violation of their agreement. You know, imagine how many Americans would actually pay for the programming on CBS, NBC, or ABC. You know, there's many millions of Americans who pay, for instance, for Fox News. Now, we could argue whether that's a good model for the future, but it is what it is. There's a lot of Americans who pay for Netflix, and the quality of the programming on many streaming services are obviously a lot better than what you get on broadcast TV. But either way, there's no way the news outlets will cease to exist. They'll stop functioning if you take away their broadcast licenses. And so this is why they have to settle these lawsuits. Because Donald Trump is now in control. And they did try and rig the election against Donald Trump, and they were caught. And now they're paying for him. Trump scores $36 million big win in settlement with CBS News 60 Minutes over edited Kamala Harris interview. Man, this is massive. $36 million. President Trump announced that he's reached a settlement with CBS and Paramount, triggered by the 60 Minutes interview. We just achieved a big and important win in a historic lawsuit against 60 Minutes, says President Trump. Well, if the article's just going to be his post, then let's just read the post. Breaking news, we just achieved a big and important win in a historic lawsuit against 60 Minutes and Paramount. And just like ABC News' George Stephanopoulos, CBS and corporate owners knew that they defrauded the American people and they were desperate to settle. Paramount, CBS, and 60 Minutes have paid $16 million in the settlement, and we anticipate receiving $20 million more from the new owners in advertising, PSAs, and similar programming for a total of $36 million. This is another long line of victories against the fake news media for their widespread fraud and deceit. Wall Street Journal, the failing New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, and other mainstream media liars are on notice. The days of being allowed to deceive Americans are over. Make America great again. Donald Trump wins. Again, he has won. Now, I mean, is it close to $100 million? Let's add it up, right? ABC News settles with Trump for $15 million. So there's $50 million right there. ABC News settles their defamation suit. CNN saying here that the staff are now fleeing the 60 Minutes, that many staff are running and quitting 60 Minutes. That happened as Meta agrees to pay $25 million to settle a lawsuit. Okay. So $75 million. That was because Facebook kicked Trump off. Trump rejected the initial $15 million. So you're up to close to $75 million in settlements from news organizations. ABC, CBS has settled. Simon & Schuster still up. CNN, big lie, defamation lawsuit still up. And of course, the Wall Street Journal is still up, along with the Pulitzers. This is probably my favorite Trump troll, is ripping the Pulitzers away from these people. So there's also good motion on that. They were granted a motion to proceed in stripping away the Pulitzers for the fake Russia hoax from the New York Times and the Washington Compost, as Trump puts it there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you effed around and you found out. Well, Stephen Colbert, what's his response to all of this?
Those guys seem to love being on camera.
These two, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Enjoy trying to build a YouTube channel, Stephen Colbert. I very much look forward to you going the way of Michelle Obama. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. You guys are winning. See ya.